When, if ever, was the last time you read the Bible stories from beginning to end without a religious mind frame? Imagine what would happen if you read the Bible stories just as you would read any other book. I'm going to give you a quick example of what I mean. Eden. Many people think of the story of Adam and Eve and Eden, number one, as a garden. Why do we think of Eden as a garden? Because we were told that Eden was a garden. But the description of Eden, right? It says, and out of the ground the Lord God made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life was also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it parted and became 4 riverheads. It was a whole river. A whole river watered this garden. The definition of a garden is a small piece of land used to grow fruits, vegetables. But what we're talking about has trees. It says, out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air. Now, people, you have to see that not only the difference that he formed every beast of the field, not God who created the beast of the earth. See, Genesis 1:25 says, and God made the beast of the earth according to its likeness, cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps. And also, after God created man and woman in Genesis 1:27, right? He blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply, which means that they would have to apply the knowledge of life, the tree of life, in order to do that. Not only that, he says, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is in the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it shall be for food. Also to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth. See, God gave us abundance. God isn't associated with the earth, whereas the Lord God formed the beast of the field. People don't recognize the difference between the two, and this is the reason why there's so much confusion, which is done on purpose. Adam did not consume an apple. But what the word does say is that the woman saw the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise. She took of its fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. The only fruit we should be talking about in the Garden of Eden, which is more by definition a plantation and not a garden, because it's being kept by resident labor. It's being kept by resident labor, and it also has animals, cattle, beasts of the field, livestock. So the plantation called Eden, if we just read the story without any type of worry of being attacked because of some religious reason, we are being told what to think. This is why you think of an apple and not the fig, which is key to figuring out the gospel of Christ, such as in Matthew's 19:4, or excuse me, in Matthew's 21, 20, 21, 19, when he cursed the fig tree, or Revelations 22, when he says the leaves of the tree are fully healing of the nations. When they're talking about the tree of life again, they're talking about the river of life, which we just mentioned here in Genesis 2, in the beginning, in the end, the first and the last. The apple is an agent of discord. It comes from the Greek goddess Eris, who is the goddess of discord, and the Greeks and the Romans called her Discordia. Just like Adam's third son, Seth, is another agent of discord and confusion, who was used to confuse the lineage of Cain to be incorporated in the lineage of Adam, connected to Noah and Lamech. But if you notice that Cain's son, Enoch, and great-grandson, Lamech, were both taken and incorporated in Genesis 5, whereas Cain was excluded. But Seth had offspring with names so closely related to the names of the sons of Cain that it causes confusion. Again, this was done on purpose. Most people don't recognize the difference between God and Lord. So today I'm going to read a quick story, Genesis 11. Word from word, word for word. Straight out of Genesis 11. You can read it with me. I encourage you to do so. But above all, I want you to listen with your open, free mind and compare the story as it reads to how it's been told. And you will realize that there's a big difference. So therefore, afterwards, you must question, what is truth and what is the myth? Genesis 11 begins as following. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, come, Let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the earth. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now, nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down and there confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore his name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of all the earth. Then we go into verse 10, which is it says this is the genealogy of Shem. Then you go into chapter 12, and the Lord had said to Abram, get out of your country, from your kindred, and from your father's house, to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you. I will make you your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. And so Abram departed to the Lord as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. They end up going to Canaan and then into Egypt, where he tells the pharaohs that Sarah is his sister, and causes verse 17 of chapter 12 says, well, let's do 14, 12, 14. So it was when Abram came into Egypt that the Egyptians saw the woman, and she was very beautiful. The prince of Pharaoh also saw her and commended her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken to Pharaoh's house. He treated Abram well for her sake. He had sheep, oxen, male donkey, male and female servants, male, female donkey, and camels. You have to see, notice how the male and female servants were put in between the male and female donkey, who were broken up, unlike the sheep, oxen, and camel. So this was done purposely to disclose, to hide the male and female servant, but also tell you that the male and female servant is equivalent to the male and female donkey, which are livestock. But it says, but the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. To sum this up, you see that the Tower of Babel was about the Lord who came down and seen the city and the towers that the sons of men had built. And then it was the Lord, not God, who said, indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. So the problem in the story was unity. Unity, not disobedience, not rebellion. Now, nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. So they tell you the key right there is that your unity will allow you to be able to accomplish anything you set your mind to as a people. But the Lord, not God, causes confusion. He came and says, let us go down in there and confuse. The original word was confound, but they changed it. This is a story about a diaspora. But we were told that it was about a rebellious king, Nimrod. But nowhere in the story does it say that Nimrod rebelled against God. Matter of fact, nowhere in the story does it mention God. So this is the reason why I say prove all things and hold fast to what is good.